I used to think that saving money would make me smart, but actually it was keeping me broke. As a child of immigrant parents and being an immigrant to Canada myself, having money was very scarce. Yes, we went out to eat a few times and we went on long road trips, but there wasn't anything extra. For example, if I wanted to go to my semi-formal or prom, I would need to work and save the money to find the money for the tickets, the prom dress, and just to help me to go to that event. So at an early age, I recognized the importance of money and how having money can impact your opportunities and provide you with options. While I know this experience is not unique for someone who's an immigrant to a new country, it's very hard initially to get adjusted and financially it can be very difficult. What was instilled in me was the importance of working hard and the importance of education. My parents used to instill in me that we didn't come to Canada to be broke. We came to get an education. We came to be able to make means for ourselves and be good people and be able to afford things such as buying a house, a car, and just to live comfortably. One of the key things that I learned about money that I'm so grateful that I learned about it so earlier on is that it provides you with freedom. It provides you with options and it provides you with security. So of course, when I started to make money as a young adult, the first thing that I spent it on was, you guessed it, all the things that I couldn't afford when I was younger. The shoes, the clothes, the makeup, and just all these frivolous things that I had longed for. But now when I had money to actually purchase it, these are the things that I spent money on. But it was not until I was in my late 20s, I was completed my master's degree, and I realized that, all the things that I'm buying isn't really bringing me true happiness and I'm actually wasting money. And to be honest, at that time, I was in my late 20s. I was gaining a little bit of weight. So I didn't really enjoy going to the mall and enjoying trying on clothes and shop as much as I did when I was in my early 20s. But I was happy that that light bulb switch went off. And then I started to realize that buying all these things, all these clothes won't bring me joy, and it was actually wasting my money. But even though I spent a lot of money in my early 20s, I was also obsessed with saving money. As I mentioned, from that scarcity mindset of not having a lot, I also didn't want to be in a position where I would run out of money or not have any money in case of an emergency. So I kept my money in a bank account, so in a big bank, for many years, saving, thinking that was the smart option. And at that time, I was also dabbling into learning about the stock market. I was actually day trading. I thought that, I was being very prudent. I was buying courses and reading about how to trade and how to read those candlestick charts. I would wake up early on my days off and go to the library and sit down and read books about trading and actually actively invested in day trading. But I didn't realize that this would lead to losing thousands of dollars, which I did over the years that I spent day trading. And this very act of day trading, which is what I thought investing was, day trading. I thought it was what I saw on Wall Street, buying and selling stocks the same day, in the same hour. And this understanding of investing is what led me to day trading and ultimately what led me to losing thousands of dollars. And I think this understanding of investing is what many people believe investing is about. Not only did I lose thousands of dollars from day trading, but I also lost something very important that in your early 20s you want to take advantage of, which is time in the market and time investing. So after losing so much money in the stock market, I decided that investing was not for me. The market was rigged and it was like a losing game. So I avoided investing for many years. So I'm making this video to discuss the many factors why people don't invest, the psychological factors and the practical factors of why people don't invest, and also to discuss the importance of investing and how it can help you grow your money and develop financial security and financial freedom. Also, if there's one person listening to this video out there, and if I can help them to change their mindset and to help them understand what it means to invest for the long term and what it means to invest to build wealth, that would be truly amazing. So let's get into the reasons why people don't invest. The first reason is lack of education. When most people imagine what it is to invest in the stock market, what they picture or what they have in mind is someone trading on Wall Street, someone buying and selling stocks within the same hour, within the same day. A person who decides to get into investing by doing day trading, which is the buying and selling of stocks within the same day, within the same hour, within the same week, is someone who's going to lose in the long run. And a lot of people get into investing, get into the stock market and do day trading, and they lose a lot of money, like in my experience, and then they just stop investing completely and they just write it off. That is pretty unfortunate because one of the main tools in building wealth is investing in the stock market. So number one is lack of education of what investing in the stock market looks like and misunderstanding of that fact. Many people who are trapped in what they think investing may look like may also see things about investing on social media. For me, back in my days, it was on like Yahoo financial feeds of like stocks that were hot and that what people recommended, but usually it would be companies or just some random person like pumping a stock, and so that people will buy it knowing that it will eventually go down. So, or on social media, someone might recommend a stock from a company or, you know, a hot pick, and a lot of people nowadays might decide to buy that stock. They might get into it too late when it's already at the highest and it's just about to go down. So there are a lot of factors that are influencing these young people on social media in terms of what investing looks like. And unfortunately, the main thought of what investing looks like is day trading, and it's just so unfortunate that people don't know that there's other ways to invest other from day trading. People might be scarred from the experience and just decide to write off investing in general because of their experience of losing. The second thing is the need for security. So money provides options for survival and for our basic needs. It allows us to put food on our table, to have shelter, and it affords flexibility. You know, it provides that cushion just in case you want to leave that job that you don't like, or if you want to just escape from that toxic environment at work. Having that financial cushion or that security is important, but a lot of people come from a scarcity mindset where no matter how much they save, it's never enough. They don't know how much to save because they are always worried that something bad might happen and they need that money. So they need to continue to save and save and save. And that's coming from a scarcity mindset. While I completely understand their perspective and their history that's causing them to feel that way from not having a lot or having a traumatic experience that led to this action of them save and save and saving. In order to move forward and in order to build wealth and in order to gain financial freedom, you actually have to know when you have saved enough. So a rule of thumb is that you should save about 3 months of emergency fund. So that is anything that you will need to cover your expenses for 3 months. So this is money you'll have to save up in case something unexpected happens. For example, if you lost your job, if you have to do a house repair, or if there's any emergency within your family. If you're in a situation where you are self-employed or your income ebbs and flows, or if you are in a job that is very difficult to find a new job, it's recommended that you save at least 6 months of expenses for your emergency fund. Using this guideline will help you to get out of the mindset that you need to keep saving and saving. You need to set a practical goal of how much money that you will need in case of an emergency and try to move on by stop saving and start investing your money. So I'll give you an example. I had a friend who made enough money to save and start investing. However, she couldn't bring herself to invest in, even though, you know, she wanted to invest, and she spoke to me about how do I get started investing. She just kept saving her money, and she had about $60,000 saved in her bank account that was gaining 0.01% interest on her money. That brought her safety and that brought her security. And even though she wanted to invest, she couldn't bring herself to invest. This money was just sitting there in her bank account, gaining very little interest. And she was just stuck in that scarcity mindset and that limitation and fear that would actually not allow her to start putting her money to work and invest and allow her to live a better life and be financially secure later on. Another factor that causes people not to invest is the fact that they simply don't make enough. And that's a very valid concern, because if you don't have enough money to cover your necessary bills and expenses, you should not invest, and I don't recommend that you invest. So if you don't make enough money and you want to start investing, my recommendation is that you find opportunities to earn more money if you can, and try to live below your means. So not because you earn more, that doesn't mean that you're gonna increase your lifestyle to the new amount that you're making. The goal should be to try and limit your cost of living if you can, and also invest the rest. So for people who don't make enough money and they do want to get into investing, the question should be, how do I increase my income so that I can have extra at the end of paying for my necessary bills in order to invest? So that's another reason, valid reason why people don't invest, is because they simply don't have much money at the end of the day to set aside to invest in the stock market. One thing that I want to add to this is that some people may not think that they have enough to invest, but after doing a budget and just running their numbers, you realize that they're spending money on things such as fast food, such as clothing, such as other things. Like, they want to invest, but they may think that they don't have enough money because it's where they're allocating their money to. The beauty about modern day investing is that some brokerages allow you to buy partial shares. So you don't really need a lot of money to start. So if you have $50 or $100, you can start investing by buying a partial share of an index fund or an ETF, or you can buy a partial share of a company. And so you don't have to wait until you believe that you have a lot of money or think that you need a whole sum of money to start investing. And I think that's so key nowadays for people to hear, is that don't wait until you feel that you have enough money. So look at how you spend your money. So instead of going out 2 times a week to have fast food, think about if you can save that money, or if you can save $100 and invest that money into the stock market every month. If you can invest that $100 or put that money into the stock market, purchasing index funds that track the S&P 500, at the end of the year, if you invest every month and being intentional in how you spend your money, you would have invested $1,200. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money now, but if you continue to invest that $100 a month every month for 25 years, and I know that's a long time, the $100 a month for 25 years would have accumulated to $88,000. That's money. That's money that you didn't have. That's money that would have been spent on other things. And what's interesting is that out of that $88,000 that you have gained over that 25 years, $30,000 is your actual money. So that's the actual money that you've put into investing. So the rest of that money that makes up the $88,000 is what has grown over time through compounding. And that's something very important and very beautiful about investing, when your money work and grow for you. You don't have to invest a lot in order to have your money grow and work for you while you're sleeping. So that's the beauty about compounding. And that's why it's so important to invest early, even if you don't have a lot of money, or even if you don't think that you have enough money. Just get started and just invest what you have. And if you're in a situation where you can, find a higher paying job and increase your income and increase your investing, you'd be better off in the long run. In this example, with that $30,000, if you had kept it in your big bank earning 0.01% per year, that money in 25 years would have only grown to $30,036 versus $88,000 if you invest it in the stock market. So guys, let your money work for you and just start investing. Even if you have $10, $50, $100, every little bit counts. Another reason why people avoid investing is debt. And we live in a time where it's very easy to consume and put money on our credit cards and buy things that we don't have, and getting into the habit of buy now, pay later. And if you have debt, this is a valid reason why you may not want to choose to invest now, but you can consider investing later. My point is that if you have a credit card bill or a bill that has 24% interest, you should not consider investing. Because, for example, if you purchase an index fund that tracks the S&P 500, you'd be getting around 8 to 11% return versus the interest that you'll be charged on your credit card bill that's like 24% interest. It really doesn't make sense to spend your money to invest. You should be spending your money to pay off that debt, that high interest credit card bill, because it just cancels out and you actually losing money by investing versus using that money to pay off your debt. So pay off your debt first, especially those high interest debts, before you consider investing. However, if you do have like a little bit of debt, like low interest, I would say like 5%, 6%, and you want to do a combination of paying off your bill and investing, that could be an option that you could consider choosing, because if you invest, you may receive higher return while you can still pay off your bill and not lose out on the advantage of time in the market. So that is a valid reason why people choose not to invest. The reason why I'm doing this video is just to shed light on the many reasons why people don't invest. But my recommendation is that if you can start investing now and have your money work for you, because time is one of the key components when it comes to allowing your money to compound over time. Because as they say, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. It's truly an amazing phenomenon. So start early and invest whatever amount that you can. As they say, the best time to invest was yesterday and the second best time is now. So start investing. But if you want to take a step into learning how to invest, these are the books that I would recommend for you to read in order to get some information and get started. So I would recommend the Ramit Sethi, I Will Teach You How to Be Rich. That is a very good book to get you started. The Millionaire Teacher is also very good. The Psychology of Money is a very good book as well, in order to get your mindset right and help you to start investing. Another very popular book that's important and that a lot of people have read in the financial space is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So the Rich Dad Poor Dad book is an excellent resource to just change your mindset, to start thinking of what things are expenses from what things are considered assets. So those are the books that I would recommend to a beginner who is interested in investing and wants to get started. And when I say investing, I'm not talking about day trading. I'm talking investing for the long term. Invest in money, yes, that you're not afraid to lose, but also money that's not a part of your emergency fund. So it's not stock picking or day trading, where there are stats that show that approximately 70 to 90% of people who engage in day trading lose money, versus 1 to 3% of people who day trade that actually make money over the long run. So the percentage of winning with day trading is very low. What is typically recommended for long-term investing, and what I do, is buy index funds or buy ETFs, which allow me to buy a stock that tracks the S&P 500, and it's a basket that contains a lot of different stock, which helps to diversify my risk and reduces my chances of losing by just buying one share or investing in one or a few companies. My recommendation to you is read through those books and start investing intentionally in good companies or good ETFs that will help you to grow your money over time. So if you take one thing from this video, is to save your money, but save with a goal or save with intention. Do not get caught up into the scarcity mindset of hoarding your money just for, that catastrophic thing to happen. Save with intention and then move on. Move on into investing your money into assets or into things that actually will work while you're sleeping or work over time. Whether it be real estate or whether it be investing in index funds or reputable companies, start investing. Stop saving, because it does not benefit you. As you saw in that example, $30,000 grew to $30,000.36 in a regular bank, not invested, versus growing your money from $30,000 to $88,000. If you do decide to save and not invest into the stock market, a recommendation is to save your money into a high interest account, or put your money into GICs or other forms of safe assets that will actually have your money grow grow incrementally and not lose money due to inflation, which is 2 to 3% per year. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. If you like this video, also check out my video on buying versus renting to compare which one makes sense for you. And you can also check out my video here where I compare leasing versus buying versus financing a car, which one is the most cost-effective option and which one is more financial savvy if you want to work towards building wealth. Thank you for watching.